Hey guys, Untitled here, back here doing another movie review, and today we'll be reviewing Thor Ragnarok. Now, Thor Ragnarok is directed by Taika Waititi and features Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Kate Blanchett, Mark Ruffalo, Tessa Thompson, Jeff Goldblum, Taika Waititi, Carl Urban, Idris Elba, Benedict Cumberbatch, Anthony Hopkins, Rachel House, and Clancy Brown. So, the plot of Thor Ragnarok is... I'm not going to give away too much of the plot, because if I discuss the plot in depth, then I'll be giving away a bit of spoilers, actually. So, all I'm going to say is that it picks up right after the events of Thor the Dark World and Avengers Age of Ultron. And it takes place about 4 years after Thor the Dark World and 2 years after Avengers Age of Ultron. And in the end of in the end, I won't say the Avengers, the end of Thor: The Dark World, because then I'll just spoil too much. I'll just say, in the end of Avengers: Age of Ultron, Thor left Earth so he could like go on like a journey to try to find the Infinity Stones, and so he's been doing that for 2 years, and he came across zero, and he couldn't even find any, and so it starts off with him being locked in a cage by this fire dude named Surtur, he like which like he comes alive in like a hat, like he has a his main like thing that makes him come to life is his hat. Like it's like this metal helmet that if you put it on fire, then Surtur comes to life, and he's just like this giant fire dude. Yeah. And so it starts off with him encaged by Surtur, and then he defeats Surtur. He puts Surtur back to Asgard, and then okay, I'm gonna say from there is that it turns out like Thor's father is missing, and so once he finds his father, he joins with Loki too to try to find his father, and so once he finds his father, we get introduced to the villain of the movie named Hela. Excuse me, need to fix the camera angle. Uh, So yeah, the villain to this movie is named Hela, and is it Hela or Hela? I'll just call her Hela. So Hela, what she does is that what's happening with her is that she's the daughter of Thor's father, actually, Odin. Like she's the daughter of Odin, but her and Thor are like half siblings. So yeah, and I'll just call her Hela, actually. Like I won't call her Hela. Hela's not that. Hela's sounds kind of weird, so I'll call her Hela. So Hela, she is so Hela meets up with her brother. So like her plan is to try to rule Asgard, because she's been gone for so long, and she finally decides to come back and to try to rule Asgard. Because back in the day, her and Odin used to rule all of Asgard, and they used to do so much with Asgard. But Odin really regrets doing all of that with Hela, because like Hela, she was evil also. Like a lot of the stuff they were doing was very evil, and like he didn't even notice, and so he regrets being with Hela, and so he even banished her. Yeah, and so she comes back to rule Asgard again. And so when that happens, her and Thor fight, and then like Thor wants Heimdall to teleport them with the Bifrost, and so once they teleport him and Loki, Hela comes with them, and like Hela like takes them out of the Bifrost, and like sends them to another world instead of Asgard. And so the world they're on is called Sakaar. So in Sakaar, it's a very advanced, and it's a very advanced planet with like where it's all owned. Like Sakaar is all owned by this dude named the Grandmaster. Yeah, he's the Grandmaster, and like it's all owned by him, and everyone worships him, and like he owns the buildings, he owns the technology, like literally everything he owns. And so yeah, and he's even made all the stuff that they've done too. Like he's even made most of the spaceships they've had. Yeah. And so once they get to Sakaar, like they're right away prisoners of the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster takes Thor, and he doesn't take Loki. He just has Loki become his side friend, like one of his side friends. but he traps Thor. He traps Thor in this room, and like he puts this electric thing in his neck. So when he tries to leave that room, it electrocutes him. Yeah. And is there anything else I should say? Let me think. And so Thor's trapped in there, like he's basically trapped in there, and then he ends up meeting Hulk, like he ends up meeting Bruce Banner, because I mentioned this in my Captain America Civil War review, where this movie basically tells you where Hulk and Thor have been throughout the events of Captain America Civil War, and so Hulk, what's been happening to him is that he's been Hulk for 2 years actually. Like ever since the events of Avengers: Age of Ultron, he's always stayed as Hulk. Like he's never been Bruce Banner, just Hulk. Yeah, and so in the end of Avengers: Age of Ultron, he ends up leaving that Earth with like the Avengers spaceship, and like he ends up just like flying through the whole galaxy, and then he eventually lands in Sakaar. And so in Sakaar, they've kind of done the same thing with Hulk too. Like they kind of kept him there. Like they kind of kept him there, but he kind of likes it there though. He kind of like enjoys being there because he doesn't really want to go back to Earth because he thinks Earth hates him and all of this stuff. Yeah. And so Thor ends up meeting up with Hulk, and so what Thor's plan is to do is to try to escape the Sakaar and to try to go back to Asgard and save it, and yeah, just save it and take his place in the throne. Yeah, that's basically the whole plot of Thor Ragnarok. Now, do I like Thor Ragnarok? Yeah, I really love Thor Ragnarok. Actually, this movie's really fun. Actually, this movie's very funny. Like, it is so funny. I really like it. It's just so like hilarious. Actually, this movie makes me laugh a lot. Actually, like what I really love about this movie is that it tries to be a comedy. Actually, it tries to be just a fun film, actually. Like, it just tries to be a fun film. And it definitely succeeded with that. And, yeah, it definitely succeeded with what it was going for. And it became as funny as Guardians of the Galaxy, actually. Like, I could even go around to saying that it's as funny as Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, it's just really fun, actually. And it's really dope, actually. And I think this is definitely one of the stronger MCU movies, actually. And, let me think. What else should I say about this movie? Let me think. Let me think. But another thing about this movie is that I don't think it's as good as Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's still really fun actually. Yeah, and let me think. Is there anything else I should say? Another thing in this movie is that I'm not sure if anyone else feels this. I think I'm the only one that feels this actually. Like this movie gets me a bit claustrophobic actually. Like it actually does give me a bit of claustrophobia actually cuz the planet's a car and everything in it and like how Thor's being held hostage by so many advanced stuff and you're just like Thor just escape this planet already please. It's scaring me like the Sakaar actually does creep me out actually. Like, it's not a scary planet but it actually creeps me out on how like advanced it is on how smart they are and how much they're keeping Thor hostage and it just gives me a lot of anxiety actually and I actually feel really bad for Thor in this movie actually like yeah just that whole thing with Sakaar like that whole planet just gives me so much anxiety actually yeah I'm not sure anyone else thinks that but a lot of you may think like I'm kind of weird for thinking that but that's just what I feel yeah. So now let's get on to the characters of this movie. Now let's get on to Thor. I really like Thor in this movie. Actually, I thought Thor was very dope in this movie. Actually, and wait, before I get any further about Thor, I forgot to say I definitely think this is the best out of the Thor trilogy. Actually, like out of the Thor movies, this one is definitely the best. Actually, like most definitely. Yeah, I love this movie so much. Yeah. So so back to Thor. Thor, I thought he was really cool in this movie. Actually, I thought this movie actually was being a bit too hard on Thor. Actually, like this movie was pretty hard on Thor at times. Actually, like throughout this whole movie, it's very tough on him. And I really like how Thor is just like so much bad stuff is happening, and he's trying to deal with it, and he's trying to escape and all of that. And I really like how emotional he gets to. Like he gets emotional so much in this movie on so much bad shit that happens to him in this movie, and I think he's really awesome when he gets emotional. Yeah, I just really like him a lot. Yeah, so let me just okay. from this point on in the review, this review will contain spoilers. So if you haven't seen this movie, just leave this review, please. Like, cause like this after this, it will contain spoilers. Cause there is no way I cannot talk about this movie without giving away spoilers. So just leave this review if you haven't seen this movie. So the biggest spoiler of this movie is that Odin. I mean, it's not the biggest spoiler, but it's one of the biggest spoilers. Is that Odin dies. Thor's father, Odin. He dies, and like I thought that scene was very, very emotional actually, where Odin was just telling him about like Asgard and all of that, and about Hela before she comes and all of that. Yeah, and I thought that whole scene was just really emotional. I thought Thor was just very emotional in that scene, and yeah, that whole scene was just really cool. And then another spoiler to this movie is that when Thor and Hela meet, Hela actually breaks Thor's hammer. Actually, like she breaks Mjolnir, and so yeah, and throughout this whole movie, he's just without his hammer. So just within the first 20 minutes of this movie, you see him lose his father and his hammer. And yeah, that's just so fucking dark for Thor actually. So yeah, and I just think that's very dark how you have him without the hammer in this movie. And I thought that was a very wise decision actually, where throughout this whole movie he doesn't have his hammer, but he's learning his full power actually, cuz like later on he gets a like a vision or a dream sequence about his father telling him like that hammer was to just show you your true power and all this stuff. Yeah, and I really like that a lot about this movie. How the hammer wasn't just his power; that he has more to him than just the hammer. That the hammer was just to show him his true power, and then he starts learning his true power slowly and slowly throughout this movie. So yeah, I really like that whole part with the movie. So is there anything else I should say? And yeah, and I really like when he gets like right after that he gets trapped into the car, like he gets held hostage into the car against his will while Hela is in Asgard ruling all of Asgard, and he really wants to get out of there so he could go back to Asgard and save Asgard. Yeah, and I thought that whole scene with Hela, like her ruling over Asgard and her fighting all the people, most of the soldiers in Asgard. I thought all those scenes were really cool actually. I just didn't like her partner. You guys know her partner, the Executioner, played by Carl Urban. I didn't really like him much. I didn't really think he served much of a purpose in this movie actually. Well, other than comic relief, which I think he was pretty funny in this movie actually. Like he was pretty funny in this movie. Like I thought he was pretty funny actually. So but his character doesn't really serve much of a purpose, but he's good to be in there just for comic relief. So, is there anything else I should say? So yeah, I actually think I do like him actually, just for his comic relief though. So yeah, just all those scenes with Hela, I just thought were very powerful actually, and I thought and I think like all the scenes where like, and I really like the scenes where where he first meets Korg, the rock dude. Yeah, I really like that scene a lot where he first meets Korg, and like Korg is like telling him like I've always wanted to get out of this dump hole and all this other stuff, and then Thor was like, well, and then she was like, well, you have. And then Korg was like, "You have to challenge you have to challenge the strong one to leave here." And then he's like, "That's exactly what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna leave this place." And then Korg was like, "Well, that's what Doug said." And he stayed. Yeah, that part was pretty funny. Let me think. And I thought Korg was really funny actually. Like I thought Korg was really funny actually, and I really liked how the director Taika Waititi played him. I thought he did a really good job playing Korg. Is there anything else about Thor I should say? Let me think. So yeah, I just think he's really. I just think, and I really like this. Oh yeah, that fight scene with him and Hulk, I just thought was so fucking dope. Actually, like that whole fight scene, I just thought was very awesome. Where he lightning bolts him, his true power is like he's made of lightning. Actually, like the hammer wasn't just lightning. Like he's actually made of lightning, and I really like that a lot when he's like shocking Hulk while he's fighting him. So yeah, all those scenes I thought were done really well. And yeah, that whole scene was just really dope. And I really like when Hulk beats him and then Korg is just like, another day, another Doug. Yeah. Is there anything else I should say about Thor? And I really liked his relationship with Valkyrie too, where he was talking to Valkyrie and he was like, I always wanted to be a Valkyrie as a kid, but then I found out that they were all girls. And then he was like, I really love, and then he tells her, I really love women. Maybe a little bit too much, but I don't mean it in a creepy way, though. Yeah, yeah, another thing about Thor, too, I thought he was really funny in this movie, too. And I do definitely agree with what Thor said right there. I mean, I do like women, maybe a little bit too much, but not in a creepy way, though. Uh, is there anything else I should say about Thor? Let me think. Is there anything else about Thor I should say? So yeah, and I really, really like how eager he is on wanting to escape Sakaar. Like he is very, very eager to escape Sakaar, and he'll do anything to escape Sakaar. And I really like that a lot about him. And yeah, is there anything else I should say about him? Yeah, I think that's it about Thor. So yeah, Thor was really cool in this movie. Is now let's get on to Loki. I really really like Loki in this movie. Actually, like Loki is one of my favorite characters in the whole MCU, and I love him a lot in this movie. Actually, like I think he is really cool in this movie, and I really like how he's all in with the Grandmaster, like being his side friend and all of that, and like him just pretending like he doesn't even know Thor and all of that. Yeah, and I really like that scene where he visits Thor in his cell, because like when he's in the cell with Corey, like he's just talking to him. And then like Thor just keeps throwing stones at him, but it just keeps going through him. And then when he leaves, Corky's like, "Piss off, ghost." Yeah, I thought that scene was funny. So yeah, and I thought yeah, like always, Tom Hiddleston, he's fucking awesome as Loki. Like there's never a time where Tom Hiddleston is bad as Loki. He is fucking awesome as Loki in this movie. I really love him a lot, and I really like that line he gives later on in the movie when him and Bruce talk, and then Bruce is like, he was like, Loki, last time I saw you, you were trying to kill everybody, and then he was like, it varies from moment to moment. Yeah, that scene I thought that line I thought was just awesome. Yeah. Uh, Let me think. Is there anything else about Loki I should say? So yeah, and I really like how much of a trickster he is. Like he like he's like the god of tricks. Actually, he's the trickster, and I really like how he's doing that a lot in this movie. Like he's always the trickster. He's always pulling a bunch of tricks and like a bunch of lies, and I really like how he does that a lot in this movie. Is there anything else I should say about Loki? Let me think about Let me think. Is there? Let me think. So yeah, Loki, yeah, he was dope, and I really like him in all the action scenes he's in. Like in all his action scenes, I thought he was really cool actually, and I thought he was really funny at times. And I really like that scene where Valkyrie has Loki all tied up, and then Thor throws a cup at Loki, and then it hurts him, and he's like, "Ow," because Thor wanted to see if it wasn't just an illusion. Now, yeah, so Loki, yeah, he was really cool in this movie. And then we get on to the villain, Hela. I liked Hela. I liked Hela. I just didn't love her, though. Like, she wasn't an amazing villain, but I liked her. Yeah, I thought she was good. Not the best MCU villain, but she was good. I thought she was mostly just there to be a plot point, actually. I thought she was mostly there to give us so much exposition, actually. Like, she gives us so much exposition. Like, she literally shoves your throat with exposition, actually. And yeah, I just thought that's what she was mostly there, was just for a lot of exposition, actually. So I think that whole scene, like those scenes with the exposition, I just thought were just too much, actually. And it kind of, and her character actually kind of took away the whole comedy feel of the movie, actually. So I think that's my only flaw with this movie, actually, is just most of the stuff with Hela. Yeah. Right, and that's my one major flaw with this movie, actually. So yeah, Hela, yeah, she was good. And I thought Kate Blanchett played her a bit over the top, actually. Like, she was a bit over the top at times, but it's fine. So yeah, and I really like that scene where she's looking through the museum in Asgard, and then she comes across the Infinity Gauntlet, and she's like, "This is fake," and then she throws it away. So yeah, that scene I thought was funny, and I really like her wolf too, like her giant wolf. I thought that giant wolf was really cool. Okay, now let's get on to Hulk. I thought Hulk was really cool in this movie. Actually, like I really like how Hulk could talk in this movie. Like the Hulk could talk in this movie, and I really like that a lot about him. And I thought he was pretty funny in all the scenes he was in. And I really like that scene where he's in the hot tub, and then he gets out, and then he's naked. Like he's totally like he's like very naked in the scene, and then you even see his butt too. Yeah, I thought that scene was really funny. And then Thor was like, "Oh wow, you're very naked. You're very naked." That's in my brain right now. It's in my brain. Yeah, I thought that scene was funny. Okay. Yeah. So I just thought all the scenes with Hulk were really cool, and I really like how he just like it's like he chooses to stay in Sakaar. Like he doesn't want to leave Sakaar. Actually, like it's like he does not feel like held in their hostage. Like he feels like that's his home. Actually, like he feels like he wants to stay there, and I really like that a lot about him. Like he feels like he feels like Sakaar is his home because like he does not want to go back to Earth because he thinks Earth hates him. And I just thought that was cool. And he thinks Earth hates him because of that time when he destroyed that city in Africa, but he was being controlled by Wanda though. So yeah, and I really like that a lot about him, and I really like when he was what was I thinking? Let me think. And I really like the scenes when he was Banner too, like when he was morphed into Banner. Like he doesn't turn into Banner till later on in the movie, till somewhere towards the last act of the movie. And I like that scene when he turned into Banner because he saw Black Widow in the ship, and then from there that gives him like a symbol of love, and so he just turns into Banner. And I really like when Banner was like, wait, where am I? Is Sokovia safe? Like, are they safe? Like, did we do it? And then Thor was like, Banner, Sokovia and Ultron. That was 2 years ago. And then I really liked how how Banner was just so shocked that he had been Hulk for 2 years. Uh, is there anything else I should say about Hulk? Let me think. And I really liked all the scenes with him as Banner. Like I thought they were cool, and I really liked how he was in Tony Stark's clothes, and then he was like, "Shit, Tony Stark, like he hasn't, why does he always wear so tight pants?" Yeah, that scene was funny, and I really like how when Bruce was Hulk, Thor was like, I prefer you more than Hulk actually, like because like Hulk thought that Thor was using Hulk just to get to Banner, and then he's like, "No, I don't like Hulk. No, I don't like Banner. Banner's just like, oh, numbers and everything. You're cool actually. I prefer you." And then I really like how he says the exact same thing to Banner, where he's just like, "Banner, I prefer you a lot more than Hulk. Hulk is just like Hulk smash. Yeah, I really like you." Yeah, I thought that whole scene was just so funny. Is there anything else I should say about Hulk? Let me think. Oh yeah, and I really liked his relationship with Valkyrie a lot. How they had gone along a lot throughout his years in Sakaar, and then they become really close friends, and they even fight each other, but play fighting. Yeah, that whole thing with Valkyrie was cool. And then we get on to Valkyrie. Valkyrie, I thought she was cool actually. Like I thought Valkyrie was pretty cool. I really liked how she quitted being a Valkyrie. That she does not want to be a Valkyrie anymore. Like she kind of like feels weirded out that she was a Valkyrie. Like she does not like she feels kind of regret for being a Valkyrie. And I really like that a lot about her. And she doesn't even like want to be a Valkyrie. Yeah, and I just really like how she's in Sakaar, like how she's just doing all this stuff in Sakaar, like she just feels like this is her life now, and she's she's so depressed all the time, and yeah, I really like that a lot about Valkyrie. Is there anything else about Valkyrie I should say? And I really like how in the end she finally decides to team up with Thor, Loki, and Banner. Because like at first she did not like Thor all that much, nor did she Loki. But then by the end she ends up liking them and she ends up teaming up with them. And yeah, Valkyrie I would say was pretty cool. And I really liked the Grandmaster too. I thought the Grandmaster was pretty funny, actually, played by Jeff Goldblum. And I thought Jeff Goldblum was the perfect choice for the Grandmaster. He was very, very funny, actually. I really liked that scene where they first meet the Grandmaster, and yeah, just he's just so funny in that scene. And I really like before they meet the Grandmaster, like Thor's in this chair while this girl is talking to him, and then the Pure Imagination song from Willy Wonka plays, and yeah, I thought that whole scene was funny. Um, is there anything else about the Grandmaster I should say? Yeah, and I thought he was a good secondary villain. Like, he was sort of the secondary antagonist, and I thought he was good as the secondary antagonist. Now let's get on to Korg. I already talked about Korg. Yeah, Korg's really funny. Not much, not a huge character, but still a really funny character. Now let's get on to Heimdall. Heimdall didn't really have much of a huge role in this movie. Besides, like, I mean, Heimdall. I would say he had a big role in this movie, but not as much as in the first two. I would say. I don't know. Just Heimdall. I don't know how to describe his character actually, but I really liked his character. How he was always like he was trying to defend Asgard. Like he was trying to run away from Hela and trying to defend Asgard and trying to like save most of his people. And I really like that scene where him and Thor talk with their minds. And yeah, I thought that whole scene was pretty cool. And oh yeah, and this is the biggest spoiler of the movie. Actually, Doctor Strange does make an appearance in this movie. Actually, in the first act of the movie, though, and I thought he was really funny in the scenes he was in, where he was telling where he was telling Thor and Loki where Thor's father was. Yeah, I thought that whole scene with him was just so funny. Like it was so funny how he just kept teleporting them. Like he just kept teleporting Thor to like different places, and he's just like and Thor just keeps stumbling over things and all of that. Yeah, I thought that scene was funny with him, and I really liked how he turned Thor's hammer into an umbrella. Yeah, and I really liked how he was having Loki like fall. Like he was having Loki teleport and falling for like 30 minutes, and I thought that whole scene was just so funny. Yeah, just that whole sequence with Doctor Strange, I just thought was really cool. Yeah, Doctor Strange, he was funny in this movie, and I thought he fitted in with this movie very well, actually. Yeah, just Doctor Strange, he was cool in this movie, and I really liked I really so yeah, Odin, he was only in this movie for one scene, but he was emotional for that scene, and I really liked Surtur too, like the side antagonist, I would say. Like he was kind of a minor antagonist to this movie actually, but I liked him actually. I thought Clancy Brown did a good job voicing him, and I thought Clancy Brown was the perfect voice to voice Surtur actually. Yeah, Surtur. Yeah, I really like. Yeah, I thought Surtur was pretty funny too, and I really liked him in the beginning of the movie where Thor's taking out all of Surtur's people while the what is it called, the song, the immigrant song, yeah. Oh yeah, the immigrant song. Like the immigrant song is the theme song to this movie, and like it plays in like the major battles of this movie, like the big battles in this movie. Yeah, and I thought it fitted in so well to this movie actually. Like the immigrant song, it's just so fun actually, and I thought it fitted in like perfect with this movie, and it was just so funny how it was just in all the main action scenes, the main battles. Yeah, it was just so cool how the immigrant song was in this movie. So yeah, and I really like that scene in the beginning with Surtur's people with the immigrant song playing. Yeah, that was a perfect way to start off the movie actually. Is there anything else I should say about Surtur? Oh yeah, and I really like him in the end too, where he's just destroying, keeps destroying and all of that. And I thought he was really funny with that scene. Okay. I think that's all the characters. Yeah, all the characters were pretty cool in this movie. Now let's get on to the setting and the scenery. Like I said, the scenery was very, very claustrophobic, and I thought they did a really good job with the scenery actually. And I thought this movie was very, very colorful actually. Like I was really surprised on how colorful this movie was. Like this movie is very, very eye popping actually. Like I think Sakari is very eye popping actually. Like with all the indoor places, I thought they were so colorful and they look so beautiful actually. Like all the scenes in the car look so beautiful actually. Like with red mixed with white and like green mixed with yellow and all this stuff. Like I just thought it looked so beautiful. Yeah, just the setting and the scenery was just so beautiful. Yeah, I loved it so much. Now let's get on to the performances. All the performances I would definitely say were so good actually. Like they all did such a good job with the movie. And I think and like literally all the actors in this movie, they literally look like they're having fun with this movie. As much of a fun film this is, even the actors look like they're having fun. And from there, you know, when the actors are having fun, that means you're having fun too. Yeah, and I really like that a lot about that. And you can just so tell they're having a blast while making this movie. And it's just so cool. Yeah. Now let's get on to the soundtrack. The soundtrack I would say was really really cool actually with the immigrant song and all the other themes too. I just thought were really cool and yeah, just I had absolutely zero problems with the soundtrack. And the comic relief, like this movie, like I already said before, is funny, and all the scenes with comic relief definitely work for me. Like it's super funny, and all the jokes literally land for me. And now let's get on to the pacing. This movie's 2 hours and 10 minutes, I think, but it goes by really fast actually. Like I don't really feel the runtime to this movie actually. Like I think it goes by really fast actually, and I thought that it was paced very well actually. Like with all the scenes with Sakaar and all the scenes with Asgard, I thought they were all paced and timed very well actually. Yeah, and now let's get on to yeah, the effects in this movie were awesome actually. Like I would say the effects were so awesome in this movie. Like they looked real actually. Like all the effects look very very real in this movie. Like you believe all the effects in this movie. Like they look so real. Like yeah, just the effects. Like I had absolutely no complaints about them. Yeah, just it look yeah, just the effects make the movie look even more real. Yeah. Now let's get on. Yeah, I already said this movie is very gets a little suspenseful at times, and it works. Like all the suspense works in this movie. Let me think. Is there anything else I should cover before I end this review? Oh yeah, the end battle. I thought the end battle was really cool actually. Like the end battle was so sick how they go back to Asgard, and I thought that scene was very funny where, cause like in the movie when Banner, Valkyrie and him are like, you kind of look familiar. Like I feel like I know you, and then Banner's like, yeah, me too. Strange. And then I really like that scene where they're in Asgard, and then Hulk tells Valkyrie, "Do you want to know who I really am?" And then he falls into the Bifrost, but he doesn't even turn into the Hulk. Like he falls, but as he falls like like a normal person falls, and then it's just so funny how it looks. Like he just falls in the Bifrost, and then he's like, oh. And he looks very badly injured. Like he literally falls like a Lego falls in the crowd. Yeah, it just looks so funny. And yeah, that whole scene I just thought was just so hilarious. Yeah, and then I really liked how he turns into Banner like very quickly after that, and then he fights Gila's giant wolf. Yeah, that whole scene was so awesome, and I really like when Thor and Gila were fighting with Thor's lightning powers, and then the immigrant song plays, and yeah, that whole scene was just so sick actually, where Thor is just taking out all of Gila's people with his lightning powers, and then Loki and Valkyrie are helping out too. Yeah, that whole scene, that whole scene mostly took place in the Bifrost Bridge, and I thought it was just so dope actually. Yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else I can say about this movie? So yeah, it ended perfectly. I would say like the ending, it was perfect actually. Oh yeah, and then the end credits to this movie. I would say I like the end credits a lot actually. The end credits literally leaves like takes place like literally leaves off what's the word I would say? The end credits I would say like is like right before Avengers Infinity War actually. Like it leaves off to where Avengers Infinity War starts. And I thought that was cool actually. How the end credits did that. Yeah. Um, yeah, so because like in the end credits, they're in the ship, and then like they end up looking up, and then Thanos' ships arrive, and then he sucks the ship in, and yeah, and then that's how the movie ends. Yeah, I thought that ending was pretty dope. Okay, now as far as rating goes, I'll probably give this movie a solid A. Yeah. Bye, and see you all in the next review.